Hello and welcome to this course. So why I have chosen Power Query? Even though I am doing it for Power BI for many years now, but why I have taken first course as Power Query? Because Power Query is the base thing which we need to work on. Data modeling is the main concept, is the main thing which we need to understand how to extract, how to transform, how to model our data. So I'm going to show you a brief introduction about Power Query. I believe Power Query is much bigger than what you think. So I want you to join this course with me in order to get well expert in Power Query transformations. So if you look at the Power Query, we know that Power Query is for extract of the data and then transform of the data and then load processing of the data. If you look at an example here, this data goes for an example if we have this unstructured of the data or structured data, and if we want to do something else, then we used to do some kind of transformations, right? So it just goes through this transformation process and then it agrees to do whatever the transformation we want to do. So there are 350 transformations available in Power Query. This is amazing, right? Yes. So almost everything is on the user interface itself. So it will be easy for us to go through all these features and we can get most out of this Power Query. So after transforming the data, the general process is we need to clean the data. We need to get the data, we need to transform the data, and then we need to clean the data. So that is the main process of that. And then we need to build the model and finally load into Power Query. So this is the general process, right? So now what I want to tell you about you main thing is wherever we are using Power Query. So if you look at this one, Power Query is in the desktop. Yes, you are right. So basically we know that Power Query is inbuilt we have in Power BI desktop. That's correct. And also we know that it is available in Excel. Correct. Recently, what are the versions they are launched? They have the Power Query built into that, right? And another thing which it has is analysis services. Yes, if you notice, whenever you open up Power BI desktop, it also open up an instance of a SQL Server analysis services inside to that. So if you're using SQL Server analysis services separately, then also whatever the transformation you do, it does through Power Query itself. So we can use in three of them in the desktop application. Now, if we go to online, so wherever we can use this Power Query is, the first thing is Power BI, that's absolutely fine. We can use that, and also we can use it inside Power Apps. Yes, in order to get the data and transform the data, we can use inside to the Power Apps. And the next is we can use it on Azure Data Factory and also Dynamic 365 Customer Insights and also in Power Automate. If you are using in Power Apps, then we can use it on Power Automate. And logically, we can also use it on Power Virtual Agent itself. Because if we want to fetch some kind of data information in Power Virtual Agent, then we had to go through Power Automate. Then only it will work, right? So that is the reason. And the next thing is the data flows. So Power Query also works inside the data flows. And wherever we can use the data flow is in Power BI, in Power Apps, Azure Data Factory, Dynamic 365, Customer Insights. These are the products inside to that we can work in Power Query, right? So if we learn Power Query, then we can work on all these products. Power BI is big, Excel is also big, SQL Server Analysis Service is also big, Azure Data Factory is also big, Customer Insights Dynamic is also big, right? So every product is big itself, then it will be a good platform for you in order to get started with that. And mainly the M engine, the engine behind Power Query we call as M engine, right? So it's available in all the product. The underlying query execution engine that runs query expressed in Power Query formula language is M, right? So it's available in all the product which is described here. And apart from that, it also used in SQL Server analysis services. So how many of them here? One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. So totally we can work on 8 different products if you know depth about Power Query. So that is the reason I have started this course. This is going to be a useful course if you are taking up this course, and you will get most out of these features, and you will going to know about a lot of functionality in Power Query, and also how you can utilize the best use of the transformations in a clear cut way to achieve this native query in order to get the exact correct information from the source, and also other kinds of things which you can discuss in our next series of videos. So I look forward to join me during this course and get use of most out of it. See you in the next session.